*544#.
During this 20 every glass of milk tells a story of care, quality, and goodness from the farm to your table. At the Kenya Dairy Board, we ensure that every drop you drink is fresh, safe, and wholesome from licensed dairy business operators you can trust. Milk is nature's pure gift, packed with calcium for strong bones, protein for growth, and vitamins to keep you healthy and active. Always look for dairy products permitted by the Kenya Dairy Board, KDB, your guarantee for safe and quality milk and dairy products. From our children to our adults, from breakfast to bedtime, the goodness of milk powers every moment. The Kenya Dairy Board, world-class dairy regulator committed to quality, safety, and national pride.
Crisis looming. Health Workers Caucus serves a strike notice demanding changes to the universal healthcare employment terms.
And on the cabinet, we feature a visionary statesman and steady hands during his tenure, former cabinet minister Dalmas Otieno, who passed away recently.
And of course, tributes continue to flow in. All that coming up. But first things first, a look at our top stories tonight. Suspended.
Court temporarily stops the mandatory use of e-procurement system in government tenders. The real deal.
African financial institutions commit $100 billion to drive the continent's green industrialization.
Hata hizo nyingine zote tutachukua kwa mapenzi ya Mungu na tutaangalia pale ambapo tutakuwa na ushirikiano na wenzetu.
Broadened chances.
UDA hints at fielding joint candidates with ODM in November by-elections as it issues 7 direct party nominations. Plus, justice for Naomi Wanjiru.
A family in Mau Mahio seeking justice for 29-year-old daughter found dead alongside her lover days after being reported missing. Well, we want to warmly welcome you to this live broadcast. My name is Tom Boyer.
My name is Mchuma Odim. Our socials at KBC Channel 1. Our sign language expert tonight is Caroline Wanjiru.
Making her debut. Let's go straight to our lead story now. President William Ruto is tonight announcing a landmark $100 billion commitment by the African financial institution to drive the continent's green industrialization.
The agreement reached at the Africa Climate Summit in Addis Ababa brings together Africa's biggest lenders in what is being billed as the largest homegrown climate finance deal in history.
Well, speaking when he presided over the signing of the landmark cooperation agreement, President Ruto said that the deal is not only about financing infrastructure, but also creating opportunities for Africa's young population, turning natural resources and human talent into engines of innovation.
Ben Chumba has the details.
In a first-of-its-kind commitment, African lenders have pledged $100 billion to drive renewable energy, industry and trade across the continent in a bid to transform Africa's development model.
Some may call the task impossible, but history proves otherwise. China multiplied its renewable capacity 20-fold in 20 years. India tripled its capacity just in 10 years. For Africa, the question is not if it can be done, but whether we will mobilize the finance, infrastructure, and political will to deliver at scale.
The funding brings together some of Africa's largest financial institutions under one platform, with a promise to turn climate goals into projects, jobs, and prosperity.
We look up to the multilateral development institutions. We need to begin to build our own African institutions because they understand our ecosystem better, they know what our risks are, and there will be no exaggeration of whatever nature whenever they are looking at investment opportunities in Africa.
Speaking when he presided over the signing of a landmark cooperation agreement on the sidelines of the Africa Climate Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, Ruto said the deal is not only about financing infrastructure, but also creating opportunities for Africa's young population, turning natural resources and human talent into engines of innovation.
These banks may be not so big today, but working with them, giving them the opportunity to invest in some of our large projects, certainly they will grow into big organizations that can then underwrite and support the development of our continent.
The $100 billion commitment is expected to be rolled out in phases, with Kenya at the heart of coordination. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
Well, remember to share with us your thoughts on some of the stories that we are covering for you. Our socials at
KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Our sign language expert tonight is Carol Njoroge and not Wanjiru, as earlier mentioned.
Well accepted. Now, the rollout of the electronic government procurement system has suffered a temporary setback after the High Court here in Nairobi, Kenya, issued conservatory orders temporarily, halting its mandatory use.
In issuing the orders, Justice Bahati Momuye ruled that both manual and electronic tender submissions should be accepted equally, pending the hearing of a petition challenging the directive by the National Treasury and the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority.
Well, these and more from the courts as filed by our reporter, Letua Deborah.
Days after controversy over the government directive for procurement entities to stick to only electronic operations, the High Court in Nairobi halted the rollout. In the ruling, the court directed all public entities comply with Public Procurement and Disposal Act, which allows submissions in either manual or electronic form. The orders will remain in force until 14th of October, when the hearing of a petition will be heard. Separately, the High Court in Kerugoya has suspended the operationalization of a framework for compensating victims of demonstrations and public protests. The orders issued by Justice Kizito Magare will remain in force until the case is heard and determined. The case will be mentioned on October 6, 2025. And a Kiambu court is set to deliver a ruling on Tuesday to either release or remand a police constable for 21 days to investigate the fatal shooting of two men. Eric Gitonga is accused of fatally shooting Kennedy Ojuma, 38, and Stephen Mwendwa Maweu, 39, following a road traffic accident. Elsewhere, a Milimani Magistrate Court has ordered that the case of a man accused of publishing false claims about the death of President William Ruto will proceed on October 21st, 2025, when the investigating officer is expected to testify. Testifying, DCI Cybercrime Officer Inspector Ezra Koech told the court that although URL links were retrieved, none tied the accused to the post and the image could not be verified. Finally, two suspects, Gideon Agisa Makori and Vinny Kemunto Menyori, have been arraigned in a Nyamira court over the alleged killing and secret burial of 20-year-old Faith Kemunto, who was said to join Machakos University this month. The two were arrested in Nairobi's Huruma Estate and detained for 21 days to allow investigations.
But I would expect that by that time, you must have concluded your investigation. So the matter will be mentioned on 29th.
Litua Debra for Prime Edition.
From the corridors of justice to Health Watch, the health sector caucus has issued a 21-day strike notice over what it has termed as failure by the Council of Governors to address issues affecting health workers.
Now, the health unions are accusing governors of constantly frustrating attempts to convert universal health coverage staff to permanent as well as pensionable terms.
The unions now want all UHC staff converted by the end of September 2025 and their letters backdated to July.
As reported by Nancy Okware.
The over 5 health workers' unions are yet again sounding the drums of industry. This time round, their anger directed towards county governments.
Sisi si wageni nchini kwetu, tutatumia sheria zilizopo na tumeamua kwenda kwenye mgomo siku 21 zinazokuja kutetea haki zetu kama Wakenya wengine. Kwa sababu wameitisha mgomo kwa kupinga masuala ambayo yanatakiwa ku motivate healthcare workers. Sisi tutawaletea mgomo.
Top among their demands is the conversion of universal health coverage staff to permanent and pensionable terms.
All the UHC workers must be absorbed into permanent and pensionable term before and not later than the end of September 2025 without further delay. And this must be backdated to 1st July.
The unions are accusing governors of indifference.
We are perturbed as unions that we have been dealing with issue of UHC absorption since 2022, and the weak link in absorption of UHC workers are the governors and the Council of Governors.
Na kama mnajua mmeshindwa na afya nzima, mtuambie irudishwe kwenye serikali kuu. Maana sisi kama viongozi wa muungano wa unions tumeanza kuona kwamba mmeshindwa na mmelemewa.
They further called on the National Assembly and the Senate to investigate allegations of mistreatment of health workers by county governments and provide lasting remedies.
Our people have suffered under the county governments. Promotions are not coming. Redesignations are not coming. Medical cover is not there.
You have invited us for an industrial action. And we will respond decisively because we have constitutional duty to defend the health of Kenyans.
Nancy Okware, Prime Edition.
From a workers' cry, let's now look at what's happening in the housing space. Kenya continues to grapple with a housing deficit that demands the construction of at least 250,000 units every year.
The crisis is deepened by rapid urbanization with growing calls to elevate more towns to city status.
So the question is, can Kenya Kwanza administration's affordable housing program crack the code?
John Jacob Curia tells us more.
Eldoret in Uasin Gishu County, Kenya's newest cities, joining Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru and Kisumu. Its counterparts, Eldoret faces a housing shortage headache. To bridge the gap, the government, through the State Department for Housing and Urban Development, has rolled out several projects aimed at delivering affordable, modern homes. The Pioneer Affordable Housing site, located in Kapseret, is a flagship development featuring 2,105 units. Just minutes from the CBD, the site will include 1, 2 and 3 bedroom apartments, a kindergarten, a mixed-use commercial block and a social hall.
Besides the units, we have social amenities. That is the clubhouse, which also has a swimming pool. We also have a community center, which has a social hall inside and other rooms for other facilities such as a gym and rooms for other social events. We also have a MUD. The MUD comprises of a supermarket. It also has a clinic and also shops for renting.
Since its launch, the project has gained momentum, creating hundreds of direct and indirect jobs for locals.
At any given time, on our high, we have been having 1,000 workers consisting of around between 600 to 700 male and 250 to 300 female. So at any given time, we have ranging from 700 to 1,000 as per the need.
We are here on site, the resident team, which comprises of an architect, mechanical engineer, electrical engineer, structural engineer. Together with the clerk of works, we supervise the project on a daily basis, checking on the quality. If there's any issue, we call for remedies immediately.
Nikiwa hapa kila siku tangu niingia hii kazi, pesa ambazo natengeneza hapa, kipato cha kila siku natengeneza shilingi 1,200 kwa siku, wakati niko hapa kila siku, na tunalipwa kwa wiki, na hizo pesa zinafika kwa wakati ambao hauchelewi.
Also underway is the Eldoret Railway Affordable Housing Project, set to deliver 2,166 units and 65 shops.
These affordable housings actually employed directly almost to 800 people by now. The number keep on increasing as we advance in our stages of construction. We also have the site like caterers, the drivers. We have like almost 200 people.
To accelerate progress, the contractor is producing bricks on site, doubling employment opportunities.
So per day, like the one that is in advanced stage, we are building like a 10,000 blocks. So if you have to source, being we are in a region in Eldoret, the closest quarry of these materials are in Ravine, and the other one in Mayu and the Thika. So it's actually cheaper if we produce it ourselves, and also we are able to provide the employment to our locals.
Beyond the city projects, each of Uasin Gishu's 6 constituencies will receive 220 units, bringing the county's total to nearly 5,000 new homeowners. The government is accelerating the construction of similar projects in other cities, with artisans calling on President William Ruto to ensure that they too benefit from the allocation of the units.
Kwa sisi pia tunafanyia State Department pia tuone pia hata tupate hata nyumba pia so that this project isikatishwe hivyo hivyo.
Saa hii tunapata usaidizi, tunasomeza watoto. Kwa hivyo bado tunaomba tu hii kazi iendelee.
Naomba project iendelee, ikiwezekana tupewe phase 2.
John Jacob Curia, Prime Edition.
From housing to security or lack of it, Nairobi County Government and the National Police Service have partnered to weed out criminals terrorizing the public within the Central Business District in the wake of concerns over increased muggings.
That's right, Odim. In a joint media briefing on Nairobi Central Business District security situation, the Governor, Johnson Sakaja, and Nairobi Regional Commission pledged to rid the city of criminal elements event cautioned against vandalism of street lights.
Sakaja pledged to ensure street lights are. He appealed to the public to share information on the identity of the criminal gangs.
They later toured parts of the Central Business District to assess the security situation.
Festival here at Uhuru Park that was very successful, a gospel festival. We got some incidences from that within the CBD where lights were deliberately switched off at around I think 9 p.m. thereabout. Hao ni watu ambao watashikwa. Tutakuwa na mkutano na wale wamiliki wa vyumba katika jiji letu, kwa sababu outside your shop, outside your office, and a light, because we have regulations and city bylaws that you must have your own spotlight as well, in addition to the public infrastructure that we have the responsibility to ensure is there. Then that feeds into the security of the city, and that's what happens world over.
If we have an orderly city, it means even matter of security will be easier, much more easier to execute, so that we all live in a city that is peaceful, that attracts business, and that is truly an international hub for this continent of ours. So we want to work with the county government, especially on issues of lighting. We want them to install more lighting, and those that are in place should be free of vandalism. That's why we want to urge our people. Let us not entertain people who are siphoning power, people who are vandalizing street lights.
18 minutes past the top of the hour. You're watching Prime Edition. It's a good time to take a break. But coming up,
funding child safety programs, that and many more after the break. Stay with us.
Attention all journalists in Kenya. The Media Council of Kenya, MCK, is calling you to apply or renew your 2025 press card now. It's fast and easy. Just log on to your online portal at www.mediacouncil.or.ke. For more information, email us at accreditation@mediacouncil.or.ke or call 0110-131-447 or visit us at Britam Center, Nairobi, or our Mombasa, Meru, Nakuru, and Kisumu offices. You can report violations or press freedom issues by calling us on 0702 222 111. Stay legit. Carry your press card on duty. Always ready, always professional. MCK, promoting press freedom and responsible journalism.
What happens when the wisdom of yesterday meets the dreams of today? Share their journey and the youth bring their vision of tomorrow. This is Transgenerational Conversation, a powerful town hall where generations sit side by side to listen, to challenge, and to learn from each other.
I feel like the answers are with us.
If we listen to the issues and act upon them, I'm sure that the next time you're sitting on a transgenerational conversation, you guys will be discussing different things.
From timeless values to modern ideas, from lessons of the past to solutions for the future. Transgenerational Conversation. Real voices, real issues, real change. Join the conversation this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. live from Kenya Methodist University, Nairobi Town Campus. And shape Kenya's tomorrow. Only on KBC Channel 1 in conjunction with NCIC, Korea International Cooperation Agency, and UNDP.
Welcome back to Prime Edition. Thank you for staying with us. Our socials at KBC Channel 1 on X, Facebook, and YouTube. On to that missing person story, Tom.
All right, the family in Kehogoro in Roiro is appealing for help in tracing their missing kin.
29-year-old William Mburu was last seen in Kehogoro on Saturday night, August 16th, 2025.
Now, according to the family, William has remained unreachable, leaving his loved ones clinging to hope as police and residents intensify efforts to find him.
They are now urging anyone with information on his whereabouts to come forward as the search intensifies.
The search for answers has turned into days of anguish after the sudden disappearance of their son, 29-year-old William Mburu, last seen on August 16th of 2025, Saturday night in Kihonguro.
Kulikuwa tarehe 16 Jumamosi, alitoka nyumbani huko Gekoni akielekea kazini. Yeye anafanya huko Nairobi, nyumba inaitwa Imenti House na group inaitwa Optica. Yeye alifika kazini vizuri na akasida kazini mpaka jioni, akawacha kazi na akaenda mahali na vijana wenzake. Kitu kama saa 5 usiku tulijaribu kumpigia tukamkosa. Yeye hakuwa anachukua simu, lakini simu yenyewe ilikuwa inalia.
The family says attempts to reach him on phone were unsuccessful.
Jumapili naye vile tukaendelea kumpigia. Hakujibu pia. Jumatatu vile vile tukajaribu asubuhi, hiyo simu ikaenda mteja kitu saa 1:40 hivi, tukamkosa, mimi hakuisukua vile vile. Sasa tukaenda kumcheck huko kazini, sababu kulikuwa Jumatatu. Tukafikiria wacha tuteni mwake tuone kama angalau tunaweza kumpata huko. Tulipofika huko kazini, vile vile tukaambiwa hajaripoti kazini. Tukana wasiwasi.
At the time of his disappearance, William was wearing a black leather jacket, black trousers and black boots. Police have since joined in the search and are asking members of the public to share any information that could help trace William.
Kutoka siku hiyo hatujampata. Tumejaribu kutembelea mortuaries, tumetembelea hospitali, tumetembea vile vile polisi na hatujampata bado. Sasa tunaomba kama mtu anaweza kukutana na huyo kijana ama anaweza kumpata, tutafurahia na tutashukuru. Na Mungu atambariki.
The family remains hopeful that their son will be found safe as efforts to trace him continue. Anyone with information is urged to call 0724 301 98 or 0722 151 603 or report to the nearest police station.
There you have it, a missing person appeal. If you have any coordinates, any clues, let us know. Politics now. The United Democratic Alliance Party, UDA, has issued provisional certificates to 7 aspirants seeking elective posts in various wards and constituencies ahead of the mini polls.
The aspirants who are eyeing parliamentary seats in Barrie North, Magarini constituency and Banissa will not participate in party primaries slated for September 20th, 2025.
Here is Abdiaziz Hashim with the details.
The race for the over 20 slots up for grabs in the upcoming by-election is beginning to take shape as politicians express their interest in vying for the seats. With parties set to drum up support for their preferred candidates ahead of the polls. On Monday, the ruling United Democratic Alliance Party issued 7 provisional certificates to their preferred candidates ahead of the November mini polls.
We are not going to give you certificates so that you can go and try. Hii chama hatukuangi na tasasuishi, lazima tushinde. If you produced a presidential candidate and the candidate went all the way and won the elections, even you, it is a must. Unasikia mtu wa Magarini, hakuna maneno ingine, lazima ushinde. Unasikia mtu wa mbele, usikuje kutuambia baadaye ati ilikuwa ilifanyika, hakuna kufanyika, hakuna nini.
This means these aspirants will not be subjected to party nominations slated for September 20th, 2025.
Pale ambapo pia kuna makandidates karibu 7 ni kutoka Baringo. Na hiyo pia yule atakayeshinda ndo atakayekuwa senator wa Baringo.
UDA chairperson and Embu Governor Cecilia Mbarire maintained that the party will contest most of the seats with their candidates set to start campaigning ahead of the polls.
We know we are the ruling party, but we want you to go and seek for those seats with humility.
The ruling party has hinted that a consensus could be reached to field joint candidates in the forthcoming by-elections to secure more seats for the broad-based government.
Hata hizo nyingine zote tutachukua kwa mapenzi ya Mungu na tutaangalia pale ambapo tutakuwa na ushirikiano na wenzetu.
The party has assured aspirants of a fair electronic nomination exercise.
We will be having our nominations for where there is contest on 20th, then on 22nd, that is, today we are giving you provisional certificates so that you can go to the ground and start campaigning. But on 22nd, that is the time you are going to come to get now the final certificate, which you present to the IBC.
Other candidates who receive provisional certificates will contest for Fafi Ward, Purko Ward, Chewani Ward, and Angata Nyanyukie Ward. Abdiaziz Hashim for Prime Edition.
Onto a story that resonates with many people: harmful cultural practices, child trafficking, and emerging threats of culture change linked to conflict dominated the start of a 2-day high-level Intergovernmental Authority on Development Forum.
The forum, which kicked off in Nairobi, focused on the plight and welfare of children with calls for increased financing to fund child safety programs.
Joseph Wahungu puts that story in perspective.
The two-day meeting bringing together child rights stakeholders opened in Nairobi amid concerns over the challenges children continue to grapple with: neglect, early pregnancies, and limited access to essential services. The high-level delegates forum focused on ways of developing a national action plan to implement the IGAD child policy framework. Stakeholders at the meeting underscored the initiative's importance in strengthening child protection systems.
So the action plan that we are dealing with today is to make sure that our children are protected, that our children live in peace, in dignity, and that they achieve their potential.
The workshop, supported by Save the Children and the Swiss Agency for Development and Cooperation, is expected to produce Kenya's national action plan with clear roles, timelines, and monitoring mechanisms.
There's still a lot of violation of child rights everywhere. There are still many children who cannot access health care. The justice system, we still have a lot to do to make sure that we make the whole region safe for children. The next 2 days are vital for us in making sure that the commitments that we have all worked very closely on the IGAD child policy are actually put to action.
Child rights advocacy groups called for allocation of resources by the government to enhance child protection services.
Different countries are impacted differently, but there are those very common things across the IGAD member states that we want to be able to address for children of sub-Saharan Africa, and to have the member states really committing, really making that commitment in terms of, from rhetoric to action. Because that is one of the main obstacles around how we are responding to children's rights, is that we are not adequately resourcing or investing.
Joseph Wahungu for Prime Edition.
Back to Crime Watch. A family in Mahimayu, Nakuru County, is seeking justice for their daughter, who was allegedly killed, and her body and that of her reported lover were found at City Mortuary in Nairobi.
According to the family, 29-year-old Naomi Wanjiru Mboro went missing on the 25th of August 2025 after she was invited for a drink by her late lover and friends in a bar in Mlolongo, Machakos County.
A police report indicates their bodies were found dumped in Embakasi and taken to City Mortuary.
Jen Kahiro with the details.
A cloud of grief hangs over the family of Mzee Elisha Mburu in Maimahiu, Nakuru County, as they try to come to terms with the death of their daughter Naomi Wanjiru, who left home in search of greener pastures for her and her 2 children. The 29-year-old, who operated a hotel business in the Mlolongo area of Machakos County, went missing on the 25th of August this year after she went to meet her alleged lover and friends. The 2 will later mysteriously disappear without a trace, leading to a 2-week search that stretched from hospitals to mortuaries.
Aliitwa na bwana yake, alimwelezea ameitwa na rafiki yake ambaye anaitwa Kimani. Sasa wakaenda, alikuwa wanaenda ati hiyo klabu inaitwa Continental iko Mlolongo. Kwenda hakurudi. Hata aliacha ameambiwa watoto mfuge na hii koji ya juu, msifuge na chini, ili nikirudi ndio niweze kujifungulia.
The family's worst fears will later be confirmed when their bodies were traced in the Nairobi's City Mortuary. Police reports indicate their bodies were found in the roadside in Embakasi and bore deep stab wounds inflicted by a seemingly sharp object.
Tumezunguka, tumeenda hospitali, tulianza mpaka hapa Naivasha. Tumezunguka mortuary. Sasa jana ndio tumefanikiwa na nikapata mtoto wangu ambaye ako City Mortuary akiwa amekatakatwa, alafu anawekwa kwa barabara, ndio tuseme ni isemekane labda ni
For her mother, Grace Mukuhi, the loss is unbearable. She is now left to care for her 2 grandchildren.
Mtoto wangu ipatikane, asipotee hivyo bure. Juu alikuwa anatafutia watoto wake, hakuwa anaimba. Na huyo rafiki ya huyo Karanja apatikane na asikwe. Na huyo alikuwa anasema ati ndiye alikuwa bibi yake. Juu aliniongelesea akiwa na uchungu. Na alikuwa tu anafungia hiyo ya Karanja.
This even as the family faulted Mlolongo-based police officers for they say is a delay in apprehending the 2 individuals who were last seen with them.
Na tungekuomba Bwana Murkomen, tafadhali ingilia kati, kwa sababu sasa sisi tumeachwa hivyo. Tafadhali hawa watu wenu wa kazi hawatufanyii kazi.
John Kahiro for Prime Edition.
On to plastics now. Environmentalists are pushing for the adoption of the reduce, reuse and recycle mechanism as a way of eradicating plastic pollution from the environment.
The group says that 20 tons of plastic waste end up in the ocean and seas every minute without proper regulation.
That's right.
The activists warn that plastic pollution will end up choking our water sources and catalyze a spike in deadly diseases.
Here now is that report.
Act before it is too late.
Just a simple initiative like that has made such a big difference. So if everybody just does one simple thing, don't throw your plastic bottle out the window, put it in a recyclable rubbish bin. Don't just throw your taka-taka away, just think and act.
That is the message from environmentalists to governments as they push for the adoption of technologies that advance the war on plastic pollution.
For us, we have the market, so people, they can able to collect it, they sell to us, we recycle. So those are the kind of opportunities which we are opening up for people in our community.
No more plastic water bottles in the office place, and we look to a glass alternative. In terms of our trucking fleet, instead of using diesel, we've moved to biodiesel to reduce, reduce our carbon footprint. Also, the way we move goods and the way which we plan our transport and logistics, instead of using a pure road option, we can offer clients a railroad option, because rail is a more sustainable way of moving big volumes of cargo over long distances.
At a conference in Nairobi, Plastic Odyssey, a leader in environmental action, said the dangers posed by plastics outweigh the benefits.
But we don't realize the urgency because most of it is invisible. So it's going to come slowly, but we will have more and more disease linked to this plastic. So definitely need to act for our health.
The failure to agree on a legally binding global plastic treaty, INC 5.2, in Geneva, Switzerland, has prompted environmentalists to call on countries to lead in the push for the reduction of plastic pollution, noting that once the water sources are polluted, we all suffer.
Don't need to wait. We need to start now advocating everywhere and start replacing plastic in our everyday life.
Opicho Chemtai for Prime Edition.
On to the cabinet now.
This is on Dalmas Otieno. We highlighted it at the beginning of this broadcast.
That's right. Dalmas Otieno has been hailed as a political heavyweight and visionary statesman who served as cabinet minister in 3 presidential regimes.
As the public service minister, Otieno spearheaded landmark reforms that modernized Kenya's civil service.
Known for his firm stand, in 1996, he became the first minister to be fired in the multi-party era for opposing government sugar import policies.
Here is our focus tonight.
Dalmas Anyango Otieno was born in 1945 in West Kamagambo in Migori County. After his early education, Otieno joined Makerere University in Uganda for a Bachelor of Science specializing in applied economics between 1968 and 1971. He later enrolled for a master's degree in business administration at the University of Nairobi in 1980. Before plunging into politics, Otieno worked in various financial institutions in the country, including being the director at the Kenya National Assurance Company. Otieno plunged into politics in 1988 when he vied and won the Rongo parliamentary seat. In 1988, President Daniel Moi appointed him the Minister for Industrialization, serving until 1991, then later as Minister of Labor and Human Resource Development and as Minister of Tourism from 1991 to 1996. Having served under 3 presidents, he is remembered for various reforms in government, including reforms in the civil service, and was the architect behind the creation of the Salaries and Remunerations Commission and the digitization of the Kenya School of Government Operations. Dalmas Otieno sided with sugarcane farmers, protesting the government's approval of sugar importation against the official government position, costing his firing. He was later reinstated by President Moi. The towering politician maintained a low profile until his death on 8 September 2025, aged 80 years. For the Cabinet, I'm Ben Troy Ndula.
The world of governance is vast and can be alien to the ordinary man on the street. Critical issues are going to be discussed. From white papers to policy positions, it is easier to get lost in the labyrinth of words. Inside Government takes you to key global metropolis where critical decisions are made and where policies are crafted. We interview policymakers and senior government officials to highlight and enumerate government policies and projects. We take a deep dive into the underbelly of complex red tape to demystify policies across the country, across the world. Join me, O'Brien Kimani, on Inside Government, only on KBC Channel 1.
Today, we are diving into a space that has for very long been dominated by men, but not anymore. I'm talking about the construction industry.
I was really intrigued by these skyscrapers. It was the 90s. There was barely anything like that in the city. And I just wanted to be a part of it. It felt like a sci-fi frontier.
Yes.
And going through my architecture studies, I was just really inspired and driven how architecture really frames the built environment.
It's not an easy task, but when you are in that company, you found those male fundis.
Yes, you did.
They normally say that a woman cannot control me, a woman cannot lead me.
Most important thing is to be known as you're good at what you do. I think that's the most important place to start.
When you have a passion on something and you want to do it, believe in yourself, carry yourself with head high, trust in yourself and trust in the process.
Now we change gears to business news. My name is Wairi Mujenga. The government is collaborating with development partners to unlock more funding and grants for content creators to grow the country's digital economy. ICT and Digital Economy Principal Secretary Engineer John Tanui says collaborations established tech giants will see content creators supported to grow their platforms.
ICT and Digital Economy Principal Secretary Engineer John Tanui on Monday held a meeting with over 40 digital content creators at his office in Nairobi. During the meeting, Engineer Tanui said plans are underway to put up the largest digital media hub at Konza Technopolis, as well as other similar facilities at the county level.
We are building the largest digital media hub in Kenya through the Konza Digital Media Facility with the support of government of South Korea. This will also give our young people huge platform.
The digital hubs will be equipped with internet and key devices, offering young people with spaces and platforms for creation of content, innovation and tapping for online opportunities.
The creatives of this country, for the first time, we are being appreciated. Our efforts are being seen. So this is just to appreciate the State Department for ICT and Digital Economy, because for a very long time, creatives, content creators have been taken for granted.
Tunde forums, kama ni monthly, ni quarterly, vile tu itakuwa at least kukuwe na forum whereby we can educate other creators on how to earn and monetize their content online.
Engineer Tanui said the government is working closely with large tech firms such as Meta to empower content creators in Kenya monetize their productions.
We were able to unlock monetization in Kenya with the support of Meta. We've also been able to see monetization in other platforms like YouTube, and also utilizing the other platforms for various uses. This is an initiative that will continue to support so that we unlock all the possible opportunities in the digital space.
Alanauko, Prime Edition.
Coffee, rice and potatoes are being onboarded onto the warehouse receipt system to unlock markets and credit for smallholder farmers. Warehouse Receipt System Council Acting Chief Executive Officer Lucy Common says the agency is working closely with other partners such as the House of Procurement and the National Cereals and Produce Board to de-risk key staples as well as tackle post-harvest losses, price volatility and limited access to affordable credit.
Harvest losses in Kenya is estimated at 30 to 40% of the total harvest as farmers grapple with market access challenges. To address this, the House of Procurement has signed a memorandum of understanding with Warehousing Receipt System Council to, among others, promote structured trade and certified warehousing to reduce post-harvest losses and improve food security.
We want to structure the market in where every physical produce harvested has a market, and that we inject liquidity into the system so that the farmer has an assured minimum price and also cash flow.
So far, the warehouse says it has onboarded coffee on its systems, allowing farmers to access credit before their cherry is sold.
Then we have recently added coffee. And for coffee, we are working with the new KPCU and the AGL warehouses, specifically for AGL in Nairobi.
Plans are at an advanced stage to onboard rice to benefit farmers in Western Kenya, with the rollout set for October this year, while potato will be included next year.
We look forward to getting investors for quality warehouses, because that has been the challenge. The warehouses that we have found there, they need to be brought to standards.
The deal between the House of Procurement and the Warehouse Receipt System Council will connect Kenyan commodities to regional and global markets, as well as unlock credit by enabling smallholder farmers and traders to use warehouse receipts as collateral with banks, SACCOs and fintechs.
Because so far we have 15 banks that have shown interest. They are currently in the process of developing the warehouse receipt financing product.
We want to engage the farmer and the market not only from buying what they are producing, but we also want to make inputs available to them.
Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
The government is stepping up support for youth-led innovations in renewable energy as part of efforts to achieve 100% transition to clean energy by the year 2030. Speaking during the Lean Energy SC competition on renewable energy, Kennedy Oduyo, head of programs at the Youth and Technical Advisor at the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, underscored the importance of sustained mentorship and integration of youth-driven ideas in shaping Kenya's clean energy's future.
This whole project was basically aligned to basically create awareness. We wanted the students to know that there are companies out there who are trying to make a difference, trying to reduce the CO2 emissions. So we wanted to, and we want to also use this as a platform to see how students think and how the young people are thinking about renewable energy today, because we are an impact-driven organization.
Waste, what people call waste, I see it as raw materials. So I will challenge the young people to see the opportunities in the young in this green spaces, because out there are also opportunities for green financing. that are available for these green innovations and other ventures. Everything that we are doing, we are moving into a circular economy where it's all about ensuring that we develop sustainable systems.
So I think just incorporation of idea will help Kenya a lot. So as which they'll be shifting from the use of fossil energy to using biomass energy. Biggest challenge that we face as Kenyans is the lack of, let's say, corporations or institutions that inspire the youth, or like just incorporation of the energy sector, like in terms of curriculum, so they can get more insights in energy production.
There is need for micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, MSMEs, to adopt professional record keeping to enhance their ability to securing businesses support. Absa Bank Kenya head of SME banking, Erastus Muthuras, is urging MSMEs to establish credit-ready structures that simplify appraisal and improve access to funding and other support they might require.
About 98% of businesses in Kenya are micro, small and medium-sized enterprises that contribute 40% to the gross domestic product and employ over 15 million Kenyans. The MSMEs originate most of the innovations in use. However, 4 in every 5 MSMEs fail before their 5th anniversary due to challenges in accessing capital and poor business practices, among others. This translates to over 400,000 MSMEs failing every year. Absa Bank Kenya head of SME banking, Erastus Muthura, says limited access to capital for MSMEs could be as a result of businesses not professionally keeping records of their operations.
Sometimes it's hard to appraise an SME. You have to piece down information together, try to see whether you can make sense of it, and then assign them a score. The way they do their records, the way they do their data, the planning and the long-term view becomes a very great impediment over and above collateral.
As MSMEs grapple with accessing capital due to their lack of collateral, Muthura says most of them are yet to put in place business structures, making it hard to secure professional support.
That failure, one of the ways we are addressing that is by trying to create opportunities for them to be credit ready, because one of the challenges is how they structure their business.
This has prompted financiers to bring in third parties as a bridge with the micro, small and medium-sized enterprises.
We have tried to come up with a few innovations, and one of them is working with partners who extend credit guarantees to MSMEs to a certain extent, where they take a risk cover, and within that space then we're able to finance them.
That's where we put a cap on tonight's business news. Daniel Wahome will be bringing you the day's sports. My name is Wairi Mujenga. Have a good night.
During this 20 every glass of milk tells a story of care, quality, and goodness from the farm to your table. At the Kenya Dairy Board, we ensure that every drop you drink is fresh, safe, and wholesome from licensed dairy business operators you can trust. Milk is nature's pure gift, packed with calcium for strong bones, protein for growth, and vitamins to keep you healthy and active. Always look for dairy products permitted by the Kenya Dairy Board, KDB, your guarantee for safe and quality milk and dairy products. From our children to our adults, from breakfast to bedtime, the goodness of milk powers every moment. The Kenya Dairy Board, world-class dairy regulator committed to quality, safety, and national pride.
Welcome to the FIFA World Cup 26. Kenya's stars on the football pitch continues to shine brighter. The dedication, the self-belief and enthusiasm across the board is visionary. Join us for the FIFA World Cup 2026 African qualifiers, Group F, from Moi International Sports Center, Kasarani. And exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Turns left, fires home. Kenya lead, building up to
halftime.
Buy the new Be Lifetime bundle. Dial *544#.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Ohome and welcome to Prime Edition Sport. The national soccer team, the Harambee Stars, held their final training session this afternoon at the Police Circle Stadium ahead of their 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifier against the Seychelles tomorrow at the Kasarani Stadium. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be played from the 11th of June to the 19th of July, jointly hosted by the USA, Canada and Mexico.
After missing out on the African Nations Champions CHAN and losing to the Gambia in the recent World Cup qualifier on Friday, Stars are in dire need of 3 points to salvage some of the little pride playing on home soil.
We try to not buy into that they've played and lost every single game up until now. We don't want to take for granted that, okay, everybody else has beaten them by 2 or 3 goals.
Kenya lost 3-1 to the Gambia and are now 5th in Group F with 6 points, 13 points behind leaders Ivory Coast with 3 qualifier matches left to play. After the game against Seychelles, Stars will have a month to prepare for their final 2 qualifiers away to Burundi and Ivory Coast. With Africa being allocated 9 slots for the World Cup, only the group leaders directly qualify to the 2026 global event, while the best runners-up, currently occupied by Gabon, will fight for a place in the US, Canada and Mexico in an intercontinental playoff.
We know tactically they are playing the long balls upon the target player. We will see how we counter these tactics tomorrow. The players are focused on the match itself, not on the spectators.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be played from 11th June to 19th of July.
And EA Joint Stars from South Sudan came from 2 goals down to beat Zanzibar's JKU Princess 4-2 in the Sekafa Women's Champions League qualifier Group C match played at the Ulinzi Sports Complex in Nairobi. Zanzibar's Princess scored 2 goals in the first 3 minutes of the match played at the almost empty Ulinzi complex but could not hold on until halftime as EA Joint pulled one back just before the break. The second half was dominated by the girls from South Sudan who scored 3 more goals to send the JKU packing. Away to Kigali, Rwanda for the Sekafa Kagame Cup group matches that were played today. Kenya Police defeated Ethiopian Coffee 2-0. Guard Court lost 1-0 to Singida Black Stars. APL drew 1-1 with Kinondoni, while Mlandenge thrashed Bumamuru by 3-0.
Akaizungusha goalkeeper ilikuwa haina madhara sana kwake, lakini akaiweka mbele ya Winfreda Mati. Lucia Mrema.
And with barely 100 days until the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations kicks off in Morocco, the 24 participating teams will enjoy state-of-the-art facilities, hospitality and tourism with a variety of robust transport systems that will ensure fans can move freely across the 6 host cities and watch more than a match on each match day. Among the heavyweights who qualified for this year's edition are 7-time champions Egypt, 5-time winners Cameroon, defending champions Cote d'Ivoire and host Morocco as the tournament makes a return to the North African country after 37 years. Dismas Otuke has a story.
Journalists, influencers and content creators from across the world will play a crucial role in the build-up and during the tournament in telling the stories of the prime continental football tournament. Host Morocco will get the tournament underway on the 21st of December this year in a Group A clash at the 68,700 capacity Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium.
Watanzania na Wakenya wote mnakaribishwa sana Morocco, maana kuna mambo mazuri sana kujifunza na mambo mazuri sana kwa maana Morocco amejipanga safari hii. AFCON itakuwa kubwa sana.
Ivory Coast, it was amazing, the African Nation Cup, but this year in Morocco, I think that it was going to be something amazing because the way that people are massively coming first, the way people are communicating and the infrastructure, everything is so good.
Mi na feel wasichana wameanza kupenda mpira sana. Ukiangalia stands, you can literally see women now influencing more football, Kenyan football, than there were 2 years ago.
I'm expecting something nothing short of magical, because it was a really great tournament back then, and now they've already improved. Like coming through the airport, through Casablanca, going through the country, it looks like a video game where you're creating just hubs of places. There's construction everywhere. So by the time AFCON starts and even the World Cup in 2030, I think this place would be barely recognizable for people like us.
The venue will also host other 2 Group A fixtures pitting the Atlas Lions against Zambia and Mali, 1 round of 16 match, 1 quarter-final, and the final set for 18th January 2026.
The city of Rabat will host the opening and also the final match of the 35th edition of the African Cup of Nations, which will kick off on the 21st of December this year. Reporting for KBC Channel 1 from Rabat City in Morocco, my name is Dismas Otuke.
Mabruk Habibi Dismas. Now, 28 shooters will represent Kenya at the IPSC World Shooting Championship to be held from the 16th to the 28th of September in South Africa. The Kenyan team will compete in 4 categories at the global event.
The Kenyan shooters that will represent the country at the IPSC World Championship include Abdul Hakim Daoud, Ibrahim Dungung, Peter Njoroge, Praveer Vohra, Issa, Ashu Senik, Sunny Sian, Jim Woods, Thomas Kiilu, Charles Mugendi and Peter Muli. The Kenyan ladies team is drawn from KDF and DCI led by Agnes Wangeshi. The Kenyan shooters will compete in 4 categories: production, standard and the open.
Wengine wameenda kwa michezo za kimataifa nchi mbalimbali, Europa, Asia, South Africa kwenyewe, na wako katika ile standard naweza sema ni ya kuleta sifa kubwa kwa nchi yetu ya Kenya.
Kenya tuko na raia na tuko na discipline forces ambao wametoka vitengo vingi sana, kutoka KDF, kutoka GSU, kutoka DCI, na tuna hakika na tuna imani kwamba Kenya safari itatingisha South Africa.
Leo ndo ya kwanza kushoot vitu aina mingi, from moving targets to different types of targets, na imekuwa nzuri leo.
The government has been urged to support all sporting disciplines by creating a foundation that will develop the sport. The team was flagged off ahead of their departure.
And Kenya will field a strong team in the World Under-21 Taekwondo Championships, which will be held in Kenya for the first time in history. Over 3,500 players from over 150 nations are expected to participate in the competition, to be held at the Kasarani Gymnasium from the 3rd to the 6th of December 2025. The Kenya Taekwondo Federation has launched a website for the tournament, expected to boost tourism as well as Kenya's economy, and also give a chance to players to showcase their ability against opponents from across the globe. The Kenyan team will report to camp late in November.
Kwanza nachukua fursa hii kuwashukuru sana serikali ambao walitusaidia tukaenda tukafanya bidding na tukashinda, na pia wametusaidia sana katika mchacheto wa kuweka LOC pamoja. We are not taking it for granted and we will walk the journey with the government. This is the first time katika nchi hii kutakuwa na mchezo mkubwa zaidi. Nchi zaidi ya 150 zinakuja Kenya, na hiyo itacontribute sana kwa uchumi wa nchi hii. Wakenya watapata kazi, mahoteli, vijana wetu mavolunteer watapata, na katika strategic position ya dunia, nchi yetu ya Kenya tukufu itakuwa imejiweka mahali pazuri.
That's the sport for tonight. Well, Tunisia have qualified for the World Cup, but tomorrow, Kenya against the Seychelles. It's going to be live on KBC Channel 1. So from 3:30 p.m., I know the kickoff is at 4 p.m., but we've got our radio stations, we've got our TV stations. Do not miss the action at all. KBC Plus, if you're going to be on the road, lakini kioo kubwa ni ile uko nayo hapo nyumbani. And we will keep you entertained on that. We say futa iko KBC. My name is Daniel Wahome. Back to Tom and Irene.
Many thanks indeed for that sporty update, Daniel Wahome there. Of course, earlier on we had Wairimo Jenga with the day's business. And it's time for us to go. Remember, tomorrow, same time, same place, we will be back here again. My name is Tom Boyer, wishing you a pleasant evening. Good night from Nairobi, Kenya.
I am Nchuma Odim. Our sign language for tonight is Caroline Njoroge. Welcome to the team, Carol. Good night.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we're going to be back with her again tomorrow. So make a date with us from Nairobi, Kenya. This is Prime Edition team wishing you good night and good peace.
From 10 p.m. kwa this TV station, tuko na wewe. Now this time round is not just about entertainment, gaming, ni kushinda na zaidi ya yote, tuko hapa kusaidia. Niko na sanduku zako 12. 3 contestants kutoka pembe zote za nchi. Zawadi kibao na games za weekly jackpot. Na ukiuma nje, iko spin corner. Angukia yako. Full entertainment na yote na kukuja